Well met, novice. Well, novice or not, I'm sure I look like just as much of a novice to those guys. This is the gateway to you standing on the battlefield. It's eat or be eaten out there on the battlefield. For a know-nothing little puppy like you, your lack of skills will get you eaten alive out there. However, to know the taste of victory on the battlefield, a puppy will change into a beast in an instant. You should feel special. I'm about to teach you how to consume your enemy. You have no choice. From here on out, you will become a beast on the battlefield. First, we'll go over the offense and defensive wake-ups. When you are closing in as your opponent is getting up, it's important to think about how to position yourself after you've knocked them down. Basically, after you take a moment to consider the situation once you've knocked them down, do an attack that will hit your downed opponent. If possible, it's ideal for you to do an attack that will also hit them as they do a forward or backward roll. Simply put, choose an attack that won't leave you especially vulnerable, and do that attack slightly late. Remember that. For instance, with Ragna the Blood Edge, who you're using right now. If you knock the opponent down with Inferno Divider to straight punch to axe kick, or diagonally down forward C, slightly delay your timing. Then, from a dash, press down B on top of your opponent. You just done a basic wake-up pressure tactic. As for what timing you should use, I'd say you have until the point where doing another attack won't raise the number on the hit counter. Time your attack for the moment when your opponent can start moving, like when they'll roll forward or backward. If it looks like they'll do an emergency roll after getting knocked down, don't press down B, and instead dash in close to put on the pressure when they get up. That's a pretty common tactic. You should pressure your opponent with the assumption that they will take some sort of action, like an emergency roll, forward roll, etc. No enemy can resist. Well, I could explain it all day. It's faster for you to try it. After you knock down your opponent with diagonally down forward C, they will do a random wake-up action. Hit them with an attack when they do.
Action!
Inferno Divider! Inferno Divider! Inferno Divider! Inferno Divider! Inferno Divider!
Don't be stupid!
Inferno Divider!
Mother!
Inferno Divider!
Mother!
Excellent!
You've got a nice bite there. If you fish for their forward and backward rolls, you can deal even more damage from there. You should always be putting on the pressure, even when they're down on the ground. To break the opponent's defenses, use low attacks against their standing guard and overhead attacks against their crouching guard. When you're in an advantageous situation, a clever way to pressure your opponent and break through their defenses is to force them into a situation where they must choose between standing guard and crouching guard. In the fighting game world, this is called a mix-up. It refers to the action of forcing them to choose. Remember it. The best time to force your opponent to make a choice is when you have the advantage. When you force the opponent to block a low-jumping attack. When the opponent does an emergency roll after being knocked down. When you force the opponent to block a small attack, like crouching A. These examples should be easy to grasp. There's no need to be shy in any of these situations. Force your mix-ups onto your opponent with confidence. If you've got that, try some mix-ups out now. Your opponent has decently solid defenses. Think hard about how you can break through them.
Action!
Gonna hurt!
You stupid!
Nice! Excellent!
The more mix-ups you're able to do, the further down the road to victory you'll go. Use your head and create as many situations for mix-ups as you can. Battles are won smartly, beautifully. Next, I'll teach you about throw and attack mix-ups. A lot of mix-ups are when you force a choice between an overhead attack and a low attack, but throw mix-ups are used just as often. Throws can't be blocked, but can be evaded with jump. But during the startup of a jump, you are unable to block physical attacks. In other words, you can mix up the opponent by timing it to look as though you could go for either a throw or an attack. This is called a throw mix-up. It's an especially useful tactic for Tager and Bang, who both have special throws that can't be throw escape. These are generally the situations in which you can do a throw mix-up. When you are up close and at a slight advantage, and right after the opponent has done an emergency roll. These are the two by-the-book points to do throw mix-ups. When you are up close and at a slight advantage generally means the moment after you force the opponent to block an attack, like crouching A. The recovery of A attacks is short, and you can build up a pressure string that changes quickly, so it's good for getting in to try to break through their defenses. Going for a throw right after the opponent has done an emergency roll will make it a throw out of a normal state, making throw escapes difficult to do. If the opponent tries to avoid that with a jump or backstep, then they can be hit by an attack. I've taught you up to this point. You were able to follow all that, even though you're not used to fighting yet, right? Well, now you can show me just how well you understood it.
Action!
You stupid! You stupid!
Inferno Divider!
You stupid! Huh? You stupid! You stupid! You stupid!
Gauntlet Hades!
Huh? Huh? You stupid! You stupid! You're kidding, right? You stupid! You stupid! You stupid! You stupid! You stupid! You stupid!
As if!
You stupid! You stupid! You stupid!
Nice!
You stupid!
Out of time? I don't have time for this shit.
Lesson clear.
That was good for a novice like yourself. Do you have a handle on throw mix-ups now? Combined with the high and low mix-ups I taught you earlier, you should be able to put some intense pressure on your opponents. Huh? You want to know how to guard yourself against mix-ups? You'll have to think about that on your own. Think about how you did the mix-up, and then think about what you would do to get around it if you were in your opponent's position. If you think about it like that, the answer should come to you naturally. Understanding offense is the way to understanding defense. This is the eternal cycle of battle. Remember it well.
Mad Dog, what are you doing here?
Oh, it's you. Can't you tell? I'm drilling the novice here on what battle is. Of course, I'm only doing it so they become the perfect prey.
You're a twisted dog with twisted interests. That person will be under my care now. You're in no position to be watching over them.
Whoa, hey. Is it okay for the hero of Ikaraga to say such things? Fine. I have no idea how strong you think you are, but you'll soften them up for me, won't you? Listen, novice. I hope by the time we meet again, you won't be a little pup anymore, and will be at least a wolf. Well, you were able to keep up with me, so I guess I can expect that much. Bye, novice.
That mutt just keeps on talking. Anyway, so you're the new player I've been hearing about? Tsubaki told me all about you. She said you were a promising candidate who is steadily improving. But I'm not the type to believe anything until I've seen it with my own eyes. I will teach you myself how to do proper commands.